Let's take an in-depth look at the first two phases of a Living Waters for the World project. The first phase of every Living Waters for the World project is the assessment phase. The goal of the assessment phase is to improve the probability of a project's success and the long-term sustainability of the water system's operation. It's performed by a network team and a member of the team's in-country staff. It focuses on the upfront vetting of a potential OP and site. The first step in the assessment phase is to determine if the IP team already has a specific opportunity site and OP in mind. If not, the IP team works with the network to identify an appropriate opportunity. The network will use data they have available about potential OPs and sites. Once the IP and network identify an appropriate opportunity, the IP will ask the network to perform a site assessment. If the IP team already has a specific opportunity in mind, the IP can initiate a site assessment by providing the network the site's location and information for an appropriate OP contact. To perform a site assessment, the network team will have a member of their in-country staff, such as the in-country director or coordinator, schedule a visit to the site to gauge the area's need for clean water, to assess the potential OP's attitude and readiness to take on a Living Waters for the World project, and to inform the potential OP of the expectations that will be placed on them before, during, and after the installation of a system. The completed site assessment is first sent to the network for review. Then the network sends it to the IP, along with any comments or observations the network may have. The network will maintain a file of all completed site assessments. If the network and IP determine that for some reason the site or the OP are not ready for a water project, the IP can continue to work with the network to identify a better opportunity. Once the network and IP identify a site that they consider ready to take on the responsibilities of a water project, the IP will enter initial data about the project in the Living Waters for the World Status of Projects database, and the assessment phase is complete. Be aware that most networks will have to charge the IP a fee for the site assessment to cover the costs of the in-country staff members' time, vehicle, fuel, and any required meals or lodging expenses. The development phase begins with an IP team's visit to the potential site to develop a mutually beneficial relationship and do project planning with the OP. The primary tools used by both the IP and potential OP during the visit include a water issues survey to establish the appropriateness of a water system for the OP and community, a project preparation plan to establish who will be responsible for specific activities in preparation for the implementation of a water system, and a system management plan to establish how the system will be managed once it is implemented. Once these three documents are agreed to and signed by the IP and OP, they're prepared to sign a covenant. It may take more than one visit with the potential OP to build trust, deepen the relationship, and complete the planning needed to ensure the project's success and the long-term sustainability of the water system's operation. As each document is agreed to and signed by the required IP and OP team members, the IP forwards the document to the network for review and comment. Any recommended revisions to a document will be discussed with the IP team. The IP and network will both maintain a copy of each completed document. When all four documents have been agreed to by the IP, OP, and the network, The IP updates their project information in the Living Waters for the World Status of Projects database. And this completes the development phase. The team is ready to move on to the implementation phase for their project.